Welcome guys to Chilltime with Jose. I am Jose, I'll be your host of the most today. And I hope you guys are having a lovely day today. It's actually quite hot here in Perth. Well, quite hot because I don't want to turn on my aircon and, well, this room gets really hot. Anyways, so what we've got today is, we got some good news. We got some more potential streaming opportunities to stream some events. Given that MDL's over now, and I was, super worried that I wouldn't have any CSGO to cast. Also, as well, we got a new Steel series for November still. Last week of Steel series. Got these to give away as well, if you guys don't know. It's only Australian only, unfortunately. But Steel series ANZ has given us this monster giveaway headset. You can get one of these. Support them. Buy Steel series. They're awesome. This headset's been really good. Since I got it early in November and 2 weeks ago, and it's been very solid as well. Just need to get the Bluetooth working. It's more to do with my Bluetooth receptor, but I did get it working on another device, and geez, I could just go through the house and, it'd still connect. So I get a bit worried if I could make this my microphone as well, that I might talk as well while I'm walking around. Also, my other, orgs being Overt and Exitlag have been helping me out. Exitlag has renewed me for another 3 months, which is a big hype. Also as well, what else? It's been a kind of a slow week in CSGO, but we have some probably big news as well on the org front, and probably some not so great news on the other end as well. As a few teams are, leaving and splitting apart, and going to go on to new and better things. But let's just start with some good news, okay? And that's just some great news from HLTV, like a lot of my articles will be. I've got to say here, great work by Endpoint. Okay, like when I was looking at the top two teams, I was like, it's gonna be between Hellraisers and Sprout. I do not imagine Endpoint, Endpoint, I said, were probably making up the numbers. It was realistically only the top two teams that would probably win out in the end. And well, Endpoint pulled his Omega upset against Sprout in the upper bracket, and then pull another upset. No, so they didn't upset Sprout in the upper bracket. They upset Saw in the upper bracket to get to the grand final, which was incredible. When Sprout upset Saw, Sprout completely decimated Saw, because Sprout unexpectedly lost in the upper bracket, which I was shocked with. I think they lost to, I'm not sure who they lost to, but they had to verse another team in the lower bracket, and Endpoint, they went 3-2 to win the entire MDL, and they advanced to ESL Pro League Season 13. And someone actually mentioned this, by the way. That hopefully Endpoint don't end up like AGO, because AGO is back in MDL now, just in case you guys are completely unaware. They are back in MDL AGO because they did not get into the playoffs. They did not, dethrone any other team. And the franchise system really screwed AGO here, because there's a few other teams that did not play really well at all. But since AGO was the lowest of the non-franchise teams, because AGO did win 2 games, they went downwards into MDL. Now, the franchise rules basically says that they can't be demoted, and if they are, they have to lose, I think it's 5 or 6, I think it's 4 or 5 times for them to be demoted as a franchise team, which kind of screws over a lot of other teams as well. And it's kind of, I'm going to say, might be soft exclusivity, for some of these teams where they probably don't deserve to be where they're at, and they probably get more recruiting opportunities because of the fact that they can promise that ESL Pro League spot, being, Ents and stuff like that. I'm just naming teams at the blue that, that aren't performing as of yet, but they have this franchising position that gives them a bigger bargaining chip for a lot of upcoming talent. Now, Endpoint, that's what, a lot of teams are scared that Endpoint we're going to do. Now, Endpoint on the other end, as we get rid of that, I'm going to say here, Surreal, his squad, they won, easy peasy. And yeah, so here's ESL Pro League so far. It's going to be Complexity, Mouse, FaZe, Astralis, G2, Ents, Na'Vi, Evil Geniuses, Liquid, Fnatic, Vitality, NIP, Team 1, and of course Endpoint. Then the other 10's going to be determined by, I think it's rankings and stuff like that, or maybe qualifiers. And we'll see what happens there. I feel like basically Endpoint, if they realistically want to stay in ESL Pro League, they need to be they need to get into the playoffs, simply put, because I feel like a lot of the other teams, some of the franchise teams, are a bit weak. But they have those franchise spots where they can, stay alive. And for example, Ents looks a bit weak as well. And I know I've been picking on Ents, and, I think Finnish supporters are going to dislike this, but Ents aren't good enough for ESL Pro League. they're an MDL team. I feel like a few MDL teams could easily win a BO3 against oh, that's odd. That shouldn't happen. Against ENCE. And, you know, there's a few other teams as well. I think, you know, all the other teams other than, I think, Team 1, Endpoint, and ENCE, and maybe Mouse as well, because Mouse is in a real problematic position as Frozen's not playing that well at all. And they've been kind of inconsistent as of late. Now, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Endpoint do, you know, make a bit of a scratch on the surface and basically carry their, like, you know, momentum over, because they've beaten Mouse before Endpoint. So they've played against a few of these teams in different sort of tournaments, and I think the only tournament where Endpoint did really falter was DreamHack, where they got completely pantsed and really didn't do anything. But I feel Endpoint has been revitalized with the addition of Flames, and I think Endpoint, like if they do versus ENCE, it'll be 2-0. I reckon Endpoint can win that 2-0. Now Mouse as well, like Endpoint can realistically win against Mouse, given the fact that Endpoint's map veto is a complete counter to Mouse. Like basically with Nuke being banned, Mouse's best map, and an Endpoint will pick Train, and Mouse already auto banned one of the other Endpoint's good maps. Like Endpoint's map pick generally is a pretty much big win for them, and then Mouse have to pick a map like Dust 2, where Endpoint's also good at Dust 2, and it becomes a, you know, good old ENCE has got, you know, not ENCE, Endpoint's got a clear counter pick. But it's good to see some British CS back in the scene. Like everyone's going, oh, UK CS would never be good, they're all too toxic, they'll never work together. And someone goes, oh, they got 3 players that aren't UK CS, but still a UK org to organize those players, you know, it hasn't really happened. And they did have 3 UK players before Thomas was scurried away to Envy and took his opportunities with Envy in the end. And yeah, you know, good to see that Endpoint, well, took them 2 seasons in MDL to make it ESL Pro League, and that's insane. Like basically Endpoint beat Secret, Nexus, Saw, and Sprout, and they also come up with the upper bracket advantage, so that one map. It ended up being 2-2 in the map series, and Endpoint with the default map pick wins 3-2. Next up, talk about Cloud9. I have no idea why this is being talked about, okay? They lost to 2 teams that should be in the top 10. Like, people are still criticizing Cloud9's early elimination. I'm like, what? Like, they lost to 2 potential top 10 teams. Like, that group, like, they lost to OG and Virtus Pro. Like, let's just be real, okay? I mean, we have Mezzy, Alex, Surreal, Mighty Max. I'm talking about Endpoint. I'm talking about the team Endpoint. I'm not talking about the UK players. I'm talking about the team of Endpoint. There's only 2 UK players, which is Mighty Max and I'm trying to think the other one. I think there's only 1 player, I'm not sure. But it's not many. Like, there's only, I think Mighty Max is the IGL. I'm trying to think of the other UK player in Endpoint. Let me get here on my other screen. Oh. But Endpoint don't have, I think I only have 2 British players. Yeah, Surreal and Mighty Max. That's what I have. Everyone else is not from the UK. Yeah, I forgot Surreal is, ironically enough, it's not from that. But either way, like, I feel like this criticism of Cloud9 is kind of like silly. That's my opinion. I think it's quite silly. So let's go. Key problems now, 2vx. Yep. Cloud want to be performing in a fast pulse, but I don't think it will be. Surreal, that's right. Team announces big news, blah blah blah. People said 2.1 million from this and stuff that's always going to happen. We're kind of prepared for it. It's an interesting feeling. I feel we didn't play terribly at Flashpoint. Yeah, they didn't. They played against number 15 and number 6 in the world, okay? And I'm going to say, like, they lost 7 1v1s against Jame. Like, all I'm going to say is this, like, Virtus Pro is a good team. OG is a good team. Like, they weren't exactly pantsed other than Inferno against Virtus Pro. So, you know, like, how dumb do you have to be saying, like, oh, 2.1 million for this when nobody else discloses their salaries, okay? Like, no one else discloses how much they pay, like, you know, EG and Team Liquid and stuff like that. They probably pay a bit more. And, you know, and they get, you know, just a little bit more results than Cloud9 does. But yeah. So there was a 4 spot at 15-13. And, you know, Alex had an interview with HLTV. You can read all of this on HLTV. Now, next time is this. This is actually quite sad because I felt Team Secret had something there. But basically, the lineup around Percy is disbanded. Secret's released the CSGO lineup. So basically, SMF, Percy, Anarchist, Synopsy, and Ratifaction are gone. Anarchist says the squad does not stick together. He says basically a lot of stuff happened behind the scenes. And that Percy has expressed to join other teams as IGL. Now, basically, Secret don't have a CSGO roster, and they signed Mix, which is like Flat Room and all that stuff. And they made 3 roster changes, and all I'm gonna say is I think the roster changes killed this team. It's kind of like an E-Unite. It's kind of like an E-Unite situation where like the roster changes killed the team. Like there was just too many roster changes made within the team, like way too much, and that just killed it. Like, for example, like, if you remember E United, like, they changed Cooper, who else did they brought in Food, Marky, and all that stuff, and that just killed the team. And that's what happened here. Like, they had too many changes, okay? And I gotta say now, you simply can't have that in, an org and stuff like that. You can't have, like, 15 million team changes and expect the thing to perform. Like, that's what I'm gonna say. You can't expect the team to perform when the team can be a revolving door, basically. And that's what I think hurt it there a lot. Even though Team Secret did keep their team together for about 3 or 4 months, I feel like the aspect was still there that the team was like a revolving door. Also, as I said, they relied heavily on Anarchez. Like, Anarchez was their key man and Synopsy. And I have a feeling that given the Cash Cups that Synopsy and a few others were playing in different teams, I feel like this was kind of a, what's going to happen at the end of MDL, that Team Secret was just going to go their separate ways. And I think Anarchez and Synopsy might, link up with Flatroo again and, try to push from there. Because Loba definitely, put that team together with, I feel it's Team Herganovi or whatever it is. They put that team together with, Synopsy, Rigon, and a few others, and they performed quite well. The team was already going downhill when Flatroo left. Yeah, true. Flatroo was probably the best aimer. There was a rumor that Flatroo didn't know nade setups. So I assume if that, if that's true or not. But if Flatroo knows his nade setups, then he's a good player. But either way, sad to see Secret fall apart again. Like, Secret got that advanced spot with Percy. They made it into the MDL at the last game against Heretics. Kiyoshima will not like this. This is the second time that a team that has beaten Kiyoshima has fallen apart. After being David P and Devo Duvik. So yeah. Next up, Tensky basically confirms that Nordavind probably might be pulling up stumps like the original roster. So yeah. So Tensky's gone to Existence, I mean. And yeah, basically the Spanish Org sold Hooksy and Refresh to Mad Lions. And moved Texas to the bench. They got Mertz and Manx, and now they've got Tensky. Kind of expected. Really expected since Nordovit's gone. And yeah, there we go. We've got Queenix, Nodios, Mertz, Manx, Tensky. And I've got to say, all these players coming up from Copenhagen Flames, including Queenix as well. Geez, how much money has... I'm going to say now, how much money has Copenhagen Flames made? I can't judge anything from Loba's team with Flatroo, but all I'm saying is just kind of a warning sign that Team Secret was going to fall apart. Was that when your team, your buddies, your teammates are not playing for the org but other teams in a cash cup, I think something's got to be said. Like, I know Nerd Street Gamers and stuff like that, those tournaments, those lands where Stazzle and a few others played with other players. But when it's a cash cup and online, when you're not playing your main team, where there's big cash on the line, it's not like, LAN, have fun, ha 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 kind of thing, like Nerd Street Gamers used to be with Fragadelphia. I feel like in this scenario, the death knell for the team was, the death bells were ringing that the team was dying, basically, in the background. Overall, you know, kind of official that Tensky's been put in the team. Most expected, to be honest. Like I say now, really expected that, you know, that Nordovan is pretty much Gonski. So at the moment, Nordovan's got Croman, Sense, and Rixo, and Croman has been playing for Nordovan. So I feel like that team's going to die in advanced. So, you know, that's pretty much it. Maybe Nordovan Academy can put their team in. Not entirely too sure. They sold Manx, Queenix, Nodios, Fireleague, Hectos, and Mertz, and Stonks. Yeah. I think Blas Frukin, or whatever his name is, made a comment about that Copenhagen Flames has stayed afloat purely because of their flipping their players. Like, consistently flipping players. And have made a tidy profit out of it. Like, they had kept their female team until Galaxy Racer purchased it off them as well. Like, Galaxy Racer picked up Vilga and all that. So, you know, it's been a lot of picking up. Also, Mimi's contract expired as well, so that's different. Next up, we got B Wheels. Basically, Moose is going to go, just in case you guys are wondering, Moose is going to Valorant. So another NA star going to Valorant. Wonder where Moose is going. Not entirely too sure. Not sure if Moose is going to be late to the party, though, of going to Valorant, given the fact that a lot of guys have a lot of big orgs. But I feel like he could probably snipe a spot, maybe go to Dignitas, something like that. He's definitely a CSGO star. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know? We'll see what happens. What do you guys feel about it? You feel like what team can Moose get into Valorant? But Beals joins Triumph after being with the New England Whalers. And, of course, New England Whalers also falling apart, just in case you guys want. It's going to be the next article. And, yeah, you know, bit unfortunate. So, basically, New England Whalers falling apart due to the pandemic. 1.14 rating. Triumph can be really happy. And, yeah, let's just see here. Triumph fulfilled the following roster. Shakes, Ryan, Junior, Penny, B-Wills. Kind of at the moment, I gotta say now, like, these are like refugee camps of people who are still playing CS, while everyone else is going to Valorant, basically. And I gotta say, it's a big loss for Triumph. Like, a big loss, but that's, you know, the American scene has so much depth in it. You know, they can easily replace any other player. You know, easily. So Moose went from Envy to Triumph to Quit, basically. Now, I don't know, you know, what's going to happen there, to be honest. Hope the core stays together. For who? Hi, DJ. DJ, dude, I gotta say something, okay? You know, we're not very good friends, okay? Like, you try to act like we and you're good friends. We're not very good friends. I'm just gonna tell you that out loud, okay? So basically, New England Whalers are going to release the team. Like 100%. It's a bit sad, but kind of expected. Basically, their parent company is in a bit of trouble. Greenhouse Agency. Like, been a bit of a pickle. And yeah. So pretty much, New England Whalers are dead in the water. Despite a few good performances and beating Furia consistently. Yeah, they got top 30. But they're not getting anywhere anymore. So Point Alone's might have to find a new home, but B-Wills already has. And yeah, kind of unfortunate for the New England Wales roster. System were really promising as well. They didn't make it to ESL Pro League, obviously. They'll come crawling back soon when Valorant scene either dies down or they get kicked and can't find an org. Yeah, it's kind of like most of the CSGO players, like, you know, Zelsus and a few others. They have gone to Valorant. They couldn't find an org, so they came back. I'm going to say, it's probably, like I'm going to say now with Valorant, it's pretty much filled up to the brim. Like, I don't know what other big orgs are left that can field a team. And then it's going to get to the point where the people who are already playing at the moment, like, they're going to rise up and take their spots, where the CSGO transfers can't pop in and be like, you know, oh, I want a team. Well, you're not going to get a team. Like, you know, Valorant's kind of a maturing esport. And, you know, I'm just going to wait at the same time. for like, you know, I wonder if teams are going to start pulling out of Valorant, but I'm very sure what's going to happen is that Riot's going to fund these teams to stay in, like these orgs. I wouldn't be fucking surprised. Like 100 Thieves pulling out, and I gotta say 100 Thieves, like they have great content creation, but the esports, so I'm gonna say, I don't know how they're running their esports. Like, let's talk about the Australian team, okay? They put that for 1 year, okay? 1 year, and they expected a major. I was like, you do know what you bought, right? Now praying that Chaos doesn't get released. Chaos could get released as well. And that pretty much is like saying NACS goes dead. It's Valorant now. But all I'm going to say, nah, not really, by the way. Well, NACS goes in, you know, it's circling the drain. Now, this is what I don't get, okay? They complain about no return on investment in CSGO. Then they go to Valorant where there potentially could be losses and no return on investment. I think some of the NA orgs, like As Foreign and a few others hinted, they're just copying every other org. Like, there's no original thought in any of the NA orgs. They're just, oh, we'll go to Valorant because they're in Valorant. We'll go to Valorant because they're in Valorant. We'll get out of CS because no one's in CS. And it's kind of getting to the point that, like, when, like, there's a whole, you know, CSGO, which is an extremely popular esport, becomes more popular again, and Valorant starts losing steam because Riot can't keep funding these tournaments over and over again for little viewership, because none of the viewership is compared to CSGO yet. Like, I'm not terribly too sure where Riot's going to go with it. And Riot's pretty much killed off AU Valorant. Like, they go, you have to go to NA. You know, to qualify from Oceania, you have to win your Oceania qualifier, then go to NA and win your NA qualifier. The thing is, there's COVID. So basically, AU players will be playing on 200 ping in NA to qualify for a world tournament. Yeah, you tell me that one, okay? And pretty much, like, oh man, this is what happens. I'm gonna tell you guys now. This is what happens when a dev takes full command of their esport division, okay? This is what happens when it's not left to third parties. If your scene isn't profitable, they don't go into there, okay? They don't care about your scene. And then they have the esports rights, which you can't get, so you can't set up tournaments. But unfortunately with Valorant, you know, Riot haven't gone full, you know, blast and take up all the tournament rights. And when they do, AE won't have a Valorant scene, okay? And I'm sitting here reading the AU thing being like, well, time to move to NA, eh? Do you think any AU org's gonna literally fund, like, going to, like, Valorant, then going to NA to qualify for globals? Probably. There's probably some teams out there. But, you know, I give him like 100% props if there's a team that will do that, and we'll back some of these teams. There's a few good teams in Valorant, like, a few good players in Valorant. Like, you know, the system is absolute bullshit, okay? Like, I agree, the system's bullshit. I reckon a few of the teams in Valorant could probably give a run to the money for the other teams in NA. But it's just, you know, it's just absolute bull. It's just like the World Cup qualifiers, how it used to be in Oceania, where, like, by the way, it's nothing related to the article, where, like, basically for Australia to qualify for the World Cup, they have to win the Oceania qualifier and beat the 5th rated South American team to make the qualifier. And it's like, yeah, we have to verse a South American team, which is a big football nation, just for a shot to get into the World Cup. Now, of course, it's different since they made the Asia region and Australia eligible for the Asia region, because Australia complained about it, because Australia said it was ridiculous how their sports team was very, very good, and you got these crap teams in Asia qualifying in an easier group, while Australia has to work against, like, top South American teams, like, you know, like Peru. One town that the verse was Argentina. It's just like, yeah, you think Australia's going to get through on that? Like, Australia's going to really beat Argentina. But anyways, let's continue here. So yeah, they're gone. Now some good news for my friends, for my Michaela especially. You got some good news for them. So Michaela's been under Originem, as you can see that. Mimi, Giuliano, Zaz, Petra, and I cannot pronounce the name, okay? I literally cannot pronounce the name. People were trying to help me pronounce this name, but it was killing me the entire time. I think it's like crazy or something like that. Crazy or something like that. I don't want to call it crazy or anything like that, but anyway. So Giuliano, Mimi, and a few others just found a new team called Xset. It was rumored that they were moving to NA, but that's false. I don't think Mimi's ever going to move to NA, given that she has an apartment with Ramoy, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's a bit silly. So pretty much they did get into DreamHack Open Rotterdam. They lost to Vanguard and Hard Legion. And I'm going to say now the Vanguard one was pretty difficult to watch. They lost 16-1. They got completely obliterated. Now with Hard Legion, would Hard Legion be using the map cheat? Not the GoTV cheat, but the coach cheat on this one? Probably not. But I gotta say, they did play a lot better against Hard Legion, but they got completely stomped by a Vanguard. Now, they'll be in basically DreamHack November or December. They'll have Saw and Movistar Riders, and I'm going to say they'll probably lose both of those games. I don't see Movistar Riders and Saw losing the games, unfortunately. Like, they're just really good teams. I'd say they'll probably compete the best against Movistar. And Saw, they'll probably get slaughtered. Like, I think the team they can probably most likely beat is Movistar. I remember they won Pistol v Vanguard and lost 6 in a row. Yeah, like, I gotta say now, like, they shouldn't. Like, they got slaughtered by Vanguard. Vanguard was like a top 5 team then as well, or top 5, top 10. And it's like, people like going, oh, like people like taking a piss out. I'm like going, what do you expect? Like, it's like putting a tier 2 or tier 3 team against a Vanguard and then expecting them to get like double digits. It's not gonna happen. Like, seriously, like a Vanguard have slaughtered teams like that in the tier 3 and tier 2 scene. They've just been the major final. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm worried that Mythic and SKTC, it'll probably happen for letters, to be honest. Like, it'll probably happen, to be honest. Because, like, no one wants to go into the NA scene. That's what it could be in the end. I hope it doesn't. But none of the NA orgs are, you know, putting their hand up anymore. Probably due to the pandemic. So yeah, so Xset, they got a picture here as well. Can I go through the picture onto tweet? Yeah, there we go. So there's the picture. Yeah, I'm going to say, whoever did this job on photoshopping all of this did a really good job. That's what I'm going to say. They did a really good job at photoshopping all their separate pictures in, because of course they're separated by the pandemic. So next up, in other news, Prosto's dead. Kind of obvious. Well, it's been dead since they lost Yukinda and Nickelback. So, well, actually, let's be real. It's been dead since Yukinda left, okay? And I assume Zeus's esports org's gone. Imagine only a bunch of old retired people, only ones playing in the tier 1.5 NA. Yep. That's kind of the worst part. It is like kind of those older players, you know? And, you know, it's good challenge, I guess. And like everyone else is playing Valorant, so it's kind of, we'll see what happens. It's basically what happened is because all the big NA orgs decided they want to go into Valorant, but they won't go into CSGO. And the thing is, like, now the CSGO players that apparently asked for big salaries are now in Valorant, and the orgs are giving them, well, salaries. And I'm sitting there going like, then if those same players from CSGO, like I've been saying this as well, come to Valorant and you give them a salary there, why didn't you give them a salary in CSGO? And they go, oh, they asked too much, but you're willing them to give them a salary in Valorant. Like, you're telling me that the same players that you said were giving too much in CSGO, you're giving them a salary in Valorant, okay? That's how I feel like with the orgs going to Valorant but not CSGO. It's just like, even before Prosto gets entirely new roster, well, Prosto has no ESA advanced spot. So on the German scenes, only people playing, there's a bunch of old players. Yeah, I guess Sprout, alternate attacks. You know. All their players. We'll see. Next up is Flashpoint. Yep. Blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much it. And I've already DM'd Emir. I gotta tell you now, he's probably sorting through 200 fucking DMs. Probably even more. Probably 500 or 5,000 DMs, because every man and a dog will try to go for restreaming rights. I'll tell you now, like, some people go for restreaming rights and put their thing on HLTV, hoping to get like 5,000 viewers. I'm very sure, like, I'm not saying anything. Yeah, you replied today, of course. I replied to the tweet. I will like my own tweet too, okay? Get mad. Okay, get mad. But what I'm going to say is for this is, if you're like a talent looking to like 5k viewers from casting a game, you're not going to get it at Flashpoint over the talent at Flashpoint, okay? Basically, you know, it's more practicing, you know, casting big teams that you will not get normally be able to cast, okay? Unless you get open for like, you know, actual, you know, events and stuff like that. So, you know. Now, the tier 2 scene, all of them have been playing for years, and I've seen like 3 or 4 players. You know, like Unicorns of Love, baby? You know, they're, you know, a lot of people said they've been playing for quite a while as well. Now, let me relay my point, okay? I'm not saying don't try, okay? I'm saying just don't expect massive viewership for your stream, okay? If you list yourself up there on Flashpoint. Just remember that. If I cast Flashpoint, I'm not going to expect more than like 20 viewers, okay? If I get more than 20 viewers, I'll be surprised, okay? For Flashpoint. Because, like, people would rather listen to someone else. Like, other talent who are more refined in their craft. Better analysis, better production and stuff like that. And if you can compete with that, good on you. If you can't compete with that, well, it happens. Like, I just use it as practice for, you know, kind of, you know, casting the big names in the future. And if I do get approval, like the first game I'll be casting is the Virtus Pro game versus Mad Lions. I love Virtus Pro. You know, I love Virtus Pro. I want to, you know, cast that game. Let's take a look at Flashpoint, actually, for a few seconds. Let me get it up. I think it's Virtus Pro v Mad Lions. There we go. Yeah, it is. Virtus Pro v Mad Lions. Like, that's the game I'll be casting. If I get, you know, rights, my rights get approved, I'll be casting this game. Like, I do a bit of more to start off with to stream, then get into casting this game. Like, this is one game I want to target to cast because I feel like it's going to be a good game. 2 teams I like, Mad Lions and Virtus Pro. Like, you know, Hooksy, A-Core, Refresh, Sijush, Roy. Then you got Senji, Buster, Kikit, Jamin, Yukinda. Like, I want to, you know, I want to see these teams play. And that's what I kind of do if I get restreaming rights. I may not, you know. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan. Or, isn't it VP, Fury of VP today? No. I think that's for Blast. I'm talking about Flashpoint. This is for Flashpoint. Dude, I'm not going to get restreaming rights for goddamn Blast, okay? Touch the Crown, Penta. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that, 3 letters. I agree with that. So I recognize a lot of the players in alternate attacks and unicorns from different of those teams. But still, you know, if these players are still playing in, you know, basically to some level, VP should win this. VP should win Flashpoint. They've been really good. But anyways, let's get into the MDL. So as we know for the EU MDL, Endpoint are champions. So how Endpoint got there is that basically last week we only had the first few games being played. Actually, we had no games being played. So Endpoint beat Nexus, beat Saw, beat Sprout. Hellraiser actually lost to Nexus, okay? The 8th seed upset the 1st seed. And Sprout dropped 2 maps to Saw. So you had first v second in a lower bracket, okay? You normally expect first v second here. But in the lower bracket, you had first v second. And Whistler had an amazing lower bracket run. They met Sprout and they lost. Saw basically lost to Sprout. And then Sprout, of course, couldn't really seal the deal in the end. A bit disappointing for Sprout. Like, Sprout are too good for MDL, okay? And I have no idea, as I hit my head onto the mic deliberately, I have no idea how they're not out of MDL, okay? Like, they shouldn't be here. Okay? They should not be in MDL. Okay? Sprout should be in ESL Pro League. If you're a Sprout fan, you're being like, oh, why does he not like it? Sprout? No, you guys are too good for MDL. I'm saying you're too good for here. So let's go to Advanced. So Advanced, basically, Sengal's in the grand final. They beat Movistar 2-0. Now Movistar takes on Winstrike, Winnow versus Sengal. I am really happy for the Turkey 5, or i.e. Sengal, okay? Like, I'm really happy for them. They've been threatening to get in a MDL relegation spot for the first time. If they qualify, dude, I'm gonna be over the fucking moon if they qualify, because I really want to, you know, even though like some of the Turkish fans can be a bit abrasive, they are very fucking passionate about their team. Shame though, I won't get most of the Turkish viewers because they watch Root and others. But dude, it'll be good to see a Turkish team back in the MDL, and hopefully though maybe Root can't cast a game or so, and they'll come into my chat. Even though like they can be very, very passionate, sometimes they can be abusive, and I tell them to like, you know, shove it, and they do. You know, it'd be good to see. So this game will probably be on the weekend, I'd say, probably Friday. Dignitas will win Flashpoint, and before Dignitas wins, I don't think Dignitas have much of a chance. They haven't been very showing much bite, even with their new pickups. It'd be a massive upset, yeah, definitely. Anyways, next up, as you guys can see here, Moose going to Valorant. So, if you guys don't know, this is an article from a while ago. G'day Mercer, hope you're having a good day. So basically, Steve and Mikhail, the guys who broke the coaching bug, put countless of hours in, and got all those dirty cheaters banned. Those coaches who were cheating, they get an award at the Esports Award. And yeah, they give it to Mikhail and Steven. So Steven's part of ESCA, just in case you guys don't know, and Mikhail is a referee. And yeah, Steven had to disclose that he was part of ESCA while doing the thing. And yeah, they got the Esports Award. Same with Portuguese, Brazilian, German fans, all passionate, very toxic. Yeah. And then you got English fans, which is crazy. They tear the place down even when they're winning. Okay, all the English fans do that in the UK. Even while they're winning, they throw chairs and stuff like that. Also, another thing as well, probably a big one, is that Richard Lewis won the Esports Lifetime Achievement Award. This was done back in October, by the way, where he won it. But all I'm gonna say is this, okay? I have no idea why anyone thinks he doesn't deserve to win this. Someone actually wrote that he didn't deserve to win this, and I'm like sitting there like, why? And then we had some guy like rage on his stream saying that Cloud9 paid Richard Lewis to write the article about I Buy Power, and I'm sitting there going like, he doesn't need fucking an org to pay him to write, you know, to write an article about the fucking match fixing behind the scene of CSGO. He's not that fucking pathetic. He's probably one of the big journalists that has his integrity intact and hasn't sold his fucking integrity to like fucking like, you know, Vice or some shit, or Variety or some shit, or Polygon or Kotaku, okay? Like, you know, I'm sitting there going like, dude, like, fuck off. Like, your accusation's completely wrong. And the thing is that he's a Valorant player and he's on Shazam's team. And I'm sitting there going like, dude, man, like, stop. But anyway, he deserved it. Like, Richard deserved it. Like, Richard's been, like, sidelined from so much shit for his reporting. Like, with DreamHack and stuff like that. You know, he's got I Buy Power, you know, CSGO betting corruption, match fixing, and all this stuff, you know? All these things as well. And also he took care of, oh, fuck, I forget her name. She's passed away. She committed suicide. It was really sad. Because she went through a transition, a botched one. And he paid to fix that up. He raised money for it. Fuck, I forget her name. But he took care of her and funded money for her botched operation. And got that all fixed up. And, dude, like, I'm sitting there going like, you're telling me this person's not a good person? Rem, that's right, Ramelia, that's right. And I'm sitting there going like, you're telling me this person has no integrity? Like, fuck off. Fuck off. I'm gonna say, I don't even have to bat for Richard, okay? He can do it himself, like he does always, but seriously, like, fuck off. He wouldn't do that. I remember it was Rem. Okay, it was like her Twitch name was that, I believe, something like that. She played Dota. And also, it's like Dextero's editor. Dude, he's been shitting on the journalists that aren't writing good enough, I guess. But either way, like, he won an award, deserves it. And it was like really, really annoying that someone was trying to ruin like his award as well. I heard Foreign read the speech out as well when he was inducted as well. And yeah, you know, he shaped the esports scene very well. Probably one of the first few people. He's probably going to do that in the future. He's got his ideal role. Like, all he wanted was to be an editor at a, you know, a organization to show that, you know, what an editor should fucking be. He's editor at Dextero now. She was the first girl in LSC. Oh, okay. But I'm not sure what happened with Rem, to be honest. Like, I know, like, Rem had been through some shit. I don't know what sort of shit she'd been through. But, like, dude, that guy pulled his heart and soul. I think for one of the No Majors Club, he raised all that money. It feels like 150,000, wasn't it? Or 15k? All of that went to our operation. Okay. Are you You are Swedish? No, I'm Australian. Oh, 3 letters? No, he wanted that Swedish team for Scholar to win a map in DreamHack. Because they got through the Swedish qualifier. They beat Galaxy Racer. But yeah, overall, you know, I gotta say, CSGO is going through a bit of a interesting time with Flashpoint really trying to expand the scene. And at the same time, well, NA scene's looking pretty sus. Looking pretty wonky at the moment with a lot of orgs just dipping out. And not many orgs coming in to replace it, pretty much. Not many orgs coming in to replace it. And, you know, I know I've been critical of some NA orgs, but I just don't understand it. Like, maybe someone can tell me to understand, like, why some NA orgs are willing to pay players who are in the Valorant scene, who they refuse to pay players in the, or not pay players, but org them in the NA CSGO scene. It just begs the question, because I've been told by Zelsis it's return on investment. Maybe the players aren't putting in the shelter content. Maybe they're putting in the shelter content in the Valorant contracts instead. I'm not too sure. But maybe that's a bit of column A, column B. But anyways, we'll probably explore that later. We'll probably find out later as well. And yeah, so basically, as well as Richard, he stands in great company with Hector, of course, Rodriguez from Optic, who's also reacquired Optic, by the way. And yeah, that's going to be it for Chilltime with Jose today. I'm going to check if the lobbies are still open. Actually, no, the lobby's closed, actually. One of the people playing Genshin now. I want to see what the other person's doing, though, because there was 2 lobbies that I was looking at to just jump into. No, everyone's playing Valorant, okay. Alright, talking about Among Us? Yeah, talking about Among Us. By the way, I haven't highlighted the clip yet, by the way. Also, by the way, guys. Sorry about that. I forgot to exit Chilltime appropriately. But that's it for Chilltime for today. I'm Jose as your host. If you guys enjoy Chilltime, subscribe below. If you guys really enjoy, you can just watch live by following my Twitch channel. Also powered by SteelSeries, Exitlag, and Overt. Great sponsors. And I hope they keep sponsoring my content. And hope you guys enjoy the content, the CSGO content. If you guys enjoy WoW content, I might do one talking about WoW in the future. But I'm not entirely too sure, given the fact that I think I posted my speedrunning stuff a bit later. And I can talk about, you know, how I enjoy the game and, you know, what I love about my Demon Hunter. So anyways, guys, goodbye for now, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. See ya.